If you were to say some of the biggest roadblocks, problems, mistakes that people make for the goal of losing body fat, what are your top 3 mistakes?
Oh God, top 3.
Okay, I can give you top 2. Do you want top 5?
No.
Top 3.
The top 3. All right.
Fat loss mistakes.
Fat loss mistakes. One would be not understanding what's really going into their body. So we're going to say, let me just explain. So like, well, I eat healthy. Well, what do you eat? Well, for breakfast, I have 3 egg whites and I have a piece of toast. I'm like, okay. What do you have for lunch? I have a salad and a piece of fish. How big's the fish? This big. For dinner, what do you like? It's not like, even though they might be consuming foods that are nutritious, they are under calorie, they're under protein. So I think not understanding what's actually going into their body, that protein piece, massive. They don't understand. They just think they're choosing good foods. They're grazing all day. They're eating little things like nuts. Oh, well, I had nuts and fruit. I'm like, well, yeah, nuts and fruit 10 times. And your fat is probably over 100 grams and you weigh 100 pounds. And because you're so full, you're not able to get enough protein in. So not understanding what's really going into your body, I think, is a huge problem. And that checks a lot of boxes. Resistance training. I think we got to prioritize this a little bit more. Oh, I want to burn fat, so I'm just going to start with cardio. I'll get into resistance training. I'm like, do both. Like I love cardio. I enjoy cardio. I just do. I like the sweat. I like the mindlessness of it. I like it's quick. It can be quick, but do that with your resistance training. If we have more muscle, and ladies, I don't mean we're getting bigger, but
when I train, I'm still trying.
Right, but like I train Blake Lively. Yep. I train Emily Blunt. I train Annie Hathaway. These are very feminine, athletic physiques. They are strong women, and that is important. So understanding the importance of resistance training, but also coupling that with cardiovascular is 2. And the third
biggest fat loss mistake.
So we had food, we had resistance training. God, you know what? It's got to be this. That rest component is so underlooked. I think I'll quote Paul Chek. It's the best fat burner and it's free. Mm-hmm. Like I've had people who we've increased sleep quality over weeks and they've lost significant amount of fat loss. When you are under resting, you are not repairing your hormones and you're not repairing your body and you're not going to have that energy and your body is not going to move and burn. Really simple. Like, so what do we just say? Nutrition, training, and rest and sleep. It's like, those are the 3 things, not saunas, not cold plunges. If you get your training, you get your nutrition, and you get your rest and recovery to like 80% being really, really solid, like at least, you're going to see some pretty dramatic results. And I just think it's not that simple.
Most people really underestimate rest and
100%.
Sleep. And it's in the data, actually, that individuals that are not sleeping, pulling night shifts, their blood glucose is worse, their blood pressure is worse, insulin, all of their metabolic markers seem to be worse.
I've seen people put on significant amount of body fat who have private chefs, who are training 6 days a week. And they're like, why am I gaining weight? I'm like, you're sleeping 3 hours a night. Well, my doctor said I'm like the rarity adequate. And I'm the one like, that's adequate. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I don't mean to disagree with your doctor, but this is not working for you. You need to train. Well, I can't go to bed early. You need to train sleep. Well, I'm not hungry for breakfast. Well, you got to train. You got to train to be hungry. When I say that, it's like, start incorporating some proteins, start getting some amino acids in your body early on. Maybe a piece of fruit will build that, right? Sleep. I sleep 3 hours a night. What time do you go to bed? 2 a.m. Can you make it 1:30? Yeah, I can. How do I do that? Well, let's start winding down earlier. The next thing you know, John Albacoco, I could talk about him. Yeah. Getting to bed every night, 3 to 4 a.m. Now it's 10, 11 at night. It's like, that is, do you have any, like, how big is that? There's a reason why the guy's down 120 plus pounds, and we're going to lose another, he's 491 pounds now. So our goal is to get him down in that 250 range. He's got to have surgeries. He's got to have specific things, but getting his BMI down right now is something we have to do before we explore any of that stuff. So sleep, huge.
Where do you think the industry is going? The fitness industry? Where do you think that there's any new training technology, or again, you've been in the fitness industry, you've seen really, you've been in it for 25 years. You've seen multiple iterations of different things.
Yeah. I've been working with tech for over God, for as long as I've been in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, readiness devices that weren't, wearables that were, I remember laying on Omega Wave and laying on a floor for 3 minutes with a head sensor, a chest strap, a palm sensor, and having to keep your eyes closed and measuring, HRV, this was, I don't know how long ago. So it's, I think where is it going? I think our access to research is becoming better and better. I think the right research out there is becoming pretty awesome because it's pointing us in a direction to be able to make really good decisions. I think a lot of these readiness trackers and a lot of these tech pieces are getting better and better. And I think it's giving us information to be able to make good decisions. But I also think, with a lot of this stuff comes excuses. And the research says I only need to do 2 sets. Well,
that's a very good point.
Yeah,
start to hear people say, "Oh, but resistance training, that's I don't need to do that much."
Yeah, I only need a set. And I'm like, well, yeah.
Not exercising.
I'm watching some of these biohackers now that
exactly.
To be honest, they're not some of them are really impressive and some of them just aren't. They're coming in and they're posting their training and they're like, well, I just did this on the leg press. And I'm like, your range of motion's terrible. That might be a poor choice of exercise. And your intensity is not where you think it is for you to receive the benefits. Like when you see someone do a max effort set, it's scary.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's not pleasant. I've squatted 315 for 30 on my back and almost had a brain aneurysm. I had to lay on the floor for a half an hour. It's not something that most people, and I'm not saying that to be proud, but that's a style of training that when you're going into high intensity training, it is like someone's holding a gun to your head and they're like, you better get this right now, or there's frightening stuff's going to happen to you. So I think we take a lot of this research and I think we kind of skew it and we make it into what we want to make it to be. And at the end of the day, you still got to work hard. You still got to put effort in. You still got to meal prep. You still got to get to bed early. It's sometimes I'm watching a TV show and my wife has a joke with me. We never finish a show together because 8:30, 9 o'clock, how I'm feeling, I'm going to bed. Look, what type of life is? I love my life. I have 2 beautiful kids, beautiful home. I live a great lifestyle. I could do what I want. I could work from where I want, and I'm building businesses and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So allowing me to go to bed early just means that I'm able to get up and I'm able to attack my day. So that's important to me. That's what I want to do. Do I have those nights where we go out, we party, or we go out, we're out late? Yes, we do. Very once in a blue moon. Very once in a blue moon. And when I do it, I enjoy it. And I say, all right, you know what? Big deal. You'll catch up in a few days and you'll move on. And that's how I approach that stuff. But I think we're getting such good access, but I think people are forgetting the fact that you still got to go in there and you still got to put that work in, and it still needs to be challenging. And, if sometimes it gets frustrating, as someone been doing this as long as I have, when someone starts off every conversation, it's like, well, the research states, and I'm like, okay, I get it. We're trying to make good decisions here, but this person needs just to get off the couch. This person just needs to move. Example, do I like spin bikes? They're fine. Do I like someone sitting down and training all the time? The answer is no. Especially when that person's been in their desk 10 hours a day. Do I want them on a bike? No. If someone is going to turn around and say, I love spinning, it got me off the couch, I'm in better shape, my bloods are better, my body composition is better, I feel better, I have better sex drive, I sleep better, yada, yada, yada. Am I going to turn around and say, I don't like spinning? I'm going to say, great. I said, but can we do things to kind of complement you being in this position?
Yeah.
Can we do things to maybe open you up a little bit? Can we focus on getting those glutes to get a little stronger? Can we focus on that thoracic extension, that thoracic rotation, that shoulder mobility, these things that maybe 5-6 days a week are going to destroy you at being able to do? That's where, as a coach, I'm going to come in and I'm going to assess the individual and I'm going to help them become great at what it is they love to do.
Again, I've watched you train for many years.
Yep.
How important, and I'm always seeing you do something different. You're always adding in something different or trying a new movement. Or
it's not fluffy, but it's fun. I like doing different stuff.
It's really challenging.
Yeah.
Again, I've trained with you, whether it's a rotation slam, broad jump, all these other things. How important is it for new skill acquisition?
Like newbies or just developing new skill?
So for example, my training age is 300. No, I'm just kidding.
Yourself some credit. You're in great shape. You're in great shape. I mean, unbelievable.